Today on Fred Jr.'s Garage, we've got Dad's DIY Jeep back in the shop. We're going to take the steering system on this and give it a mini overhaul. We've got a new power steering box to replace the leaking one, a new power steering pump, and a brand new steering wheel to go along with it.
That's right. They say that steering issues are a Jeep thing. We don't even know if this thing has the death wobble or not because the steering is that bad.
So by the end of this video, we'll be driving this thing around. It's a bold statement. We're going to get the front end up in the air so we can get to this power steering box a little easier, get the hood up, and let's get going. Let's get our tire off of here, and I'll be honest, I know these came off a Jeep, but I'm not sure which year Jeep. But we do know that this Jeep is a 1990 Jeep Wrangler. Did you know that it has wheel space?
I did not know. The price was right.
It was. Somebody did replace the brakes on here.
This is the first time we've had this wheel off.
Do you have the power steering box?
I do.
Let's get that. One remanufactured power steering box. Let's disconnect the old one, get the new one in. So we have a plan for removing the power steering box. We're gonna leave the lines attached to it and drop them out with the box since they're kind of hard to get to. Let's get our steering linkage out of the way and drop our steering box out. The nice thing about Jeeps is they come with a built-in tool holder. This thing is pretty crusty, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, and it's gonna take a knuckle with it. There's just a 7/16 bolt that holds our steering linkage together on this. There it goes. We're going to change plans on this because Jeeps love me so much. We're gonna take the power steering pump off along with it because we can't get to the flare nut fitting on the back of it with this bracket. So it's all coming out. First up, let's loosen the alternator and get the belt off. Okay.
One belt.
One belt.
So tell us what you found in there.
We have found a lot of goobered nuts. And apparently, when your nuts have been goobered one too many times, they go from SAE to metric very quickly. So we're going to use a 15mm and get all these bolts out. Now that we have all the nuts off the bolts for our power steering pump, we have it loose on the bracket. But we also discovered when they replaced the power steering hose, they managed to fuse the nut to the power steering box. So we're going to have to sacrifice the high pressure line. So long, buddy. And just like that, our power steering pump is out. But wait, there's more. Let's move on to the box. All right, we've got our pitman arm puller. We're going to slip this over the pitman shaft, drive it in, and it's going to take the pitman arm and pull it right off of that shaft. Just like so. And what everybody's not supposed to do, but we all do. Oh, she's coming off. Woohoo! One pitman arm down. Now that we have the pitman arm off, we have 4 bolts that holds the steering box onto the frame. After we get those off, that steering box will come right out. Two bottom bolts. All right. Let's pry off our steering linkage, and the box is out. Oh, it's so close. There it is.
Nice.
One old power steering box with lines. And that's where our leak was coming from. Now we're gonna need to scavenge some hardware off of the old power steering pump. First thing being the pulley. So we're gonna go ahead and put our puller on here. Slide the ring over that. And it's off. When in doubt, just get a bigger impact. We've got the front bracket plate off. We've got 2 bolts on the back we got to take out of here. Not quite long enough. 1 and 2. Now we can get them all transitioned over to our new pump. This is our new power steering pump that we got off of Amazon because they had the best price. I'll put links to all the products that we've used in today's video down in the description below. Full disclosure, this channel does earn a small commission off of qualified purchases. I'm going to start our 2 bolts in here for our front bracket, which we're not going to bother to clean up. Those aren't going anywhere.
I called O'Reilly's. We have a new high pressure line coming in a couple hours. So we're gonna get everything else wrapped up so that we can go pick that up and we'll put that on last.
To put these on, you just need the nut in the correct size to suck that pulley back down onto the shaft. However, we don't have one, but we do have a plethora of washers. All right, that's got that seated on there. Now we have a power steering pulley on our new power steering pump, ready to get bolted back in. Let's take a look and see how it lines up.
Oh, butter.
I think that's lined up pretty good.
I like it.
And now we're just cleaning out some of the gunk on these threads to make our lives a little easier when this all goes back together. Because some of the threads were a little boogered. So we're just running our thread restorer on them. Now we're ready to put our new power steering box back in. We're going to get this bolted in, but we have to slide the steering shaft onto it as we're lifting it back up in there. So that might make it a little tricky. Let's see if we can get it lined up enough to put a bolt in. Try turning the steering wheel.
Which way?
Your passenger. Right there. Okay, right there. We've got our power steering box wrestled back into place. We've got a few bolts started. We're gonna go ahead and tighten them down. That way we can move on to the next step. Got the bolt going back into our yoke.
Go on.
It started. Small wins. Small wins are good. Steering box is all tightened back down. Next step, we got to get the wheel on here so we can get this thing back down to ground level, and then we're going to work on the pitman arm. Grab half of this. When we put the steering box back in, we made sure that the steering shaft was lined up on there, and it's just like it was when we took it apart. Now we're going to put the pitman arm back in the same way that it came out. So everything should line up okay. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you think that's the right way to do this. I think that's on there. It's lined up. We're going to do a little tappy tappy. Oh yeah. Hey. Now that we have the correct wrench for the job, we're going to tighten down the nut on the pitman arm. You don't think we'll over torque the steering box, do you? I don't want to hurt it with this thing. Do you think this wrench is too big for this? I mean, I guess it's better than using an impact. Let's go find our lock washer. We've got that pitman arm seated on there. Now we're going to put our lock washer back on there, tighten it down, and we can move on to the next step. Power steering pump's back in place. We're going to tighten down the nuts on this and get our new belt put on. I cannot wait to power wash the inside of this engine compartment. We'll get it cleaned up, make it look nice. This Jeep's been neglected for a while, so I think that'll be a nice little upgrade. And when we pull the valve cover off of this, we're going to find out how nasty this motor really is. We have a new belt to go along with our new power steering pump. We are going to reuse the old low pressure line, but we do have a new high pressure line coming. So let's go ahead and get the low pressure put back in.
Nice little O-ring.
We unbolted the radiator shroud. We're not going to drain the radiator, but this will help give us some space so we can get that line in there. It's just enough space. With these being O-ring fittings, they're not flare fittings that you really have to crank down on. So we just need to make sure we get them nice and tight. This is the low pressure line we just got put on. The high pressure will go right in here. While we're waiting on O'Reilly's to call us for our high pressure line, we're going to change gears and get the old steering wheel out and put this new one in. We found this one on Amazon and we're going to see how it fits. If you like it, you can check it out in the link in the description below. We're going to have to take the 3 screws out and the steering nut on this so we can replace it with our new adapter. Steering nut's out. We're going to find the correct bolts that we need to pull this steering wheel and get our new one put on. You can use a specific steering wheel puller or a harmonic balancer puller, works just as well. Let's get some bolts started in here. And now, off with the old steering wheel. Old steering wheel's out. Now when we got our steering wheel, we also had to get on Amazon and find a steering wheel adapter, which there are a few different options, and we like this one, so this is what we're going to use. I don't know that our horn's going to work. Maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's a little adapter dealy. I think we can probably figure something out there. how far we're gonna have to seat it. I like that actually. That way it won't interfere with our horn button. We have the new steering wheel adapter on here, and it's sucked down nice and flush with this stud. There's probably a 1/4 inch that it could have gone down a little bit further, but being as flush as it is, I'm gonna leave it there. Leave me a comment and let me know if you think we should have cranked this thing on there tighter. Our horn currently doesn't work in this Jeep, and that is something that we need to trace down and figure out, but that's for a different day. Today, we're just putting on a new steering wheel. O'Reilly's came through. We just got back with our new power steering hose. Let's get this thing installed and get our power system blood.
All right, the bottom's on down there. Now we gotta get the top on.
And the same thing as on the front. It's just slow going. There's no way around it. That's got our high pressure tightened down. Let's get our low pressure on here. We're getting our radiator bolted back in place, then we're going to bleed the power steering system. If you want to know more about bleeding your power steering system, make sure you check out our other video that we've done on this channel, and we'll put a link to that at the end of this video.
50 time?
Yeah. Now it's time for fingers crossed. We're going to fire this thing up and make sure we don't have any leaks.
Thoughts?
We're getting there.
It's a lot better than it was.
Well, it actually steers at this point, so I'll take that as a win. That's got our steering buttoned up, but we still have a lot to do to get this ready for the off-road games. We need to get this Jeep cleaned up, and we have some oil leaks to take care of, and mainly the valve cover. And I'm really curious to see what's under there, and that should tell us how this motor was really treated.
We'll be working on those videos real soon, and when we're finished with those, we'll put links to them right here.
Thanks for watching. I'm gonna run with it, but let me know in the comments, what do you guys think? Should we have done this more? Should we have done this better? Should we have tightened it down more?